High school sweethearts, is that still possible in our society? Finding the love of your life in high school and making a decision to live the rest of your life together. Meet Kimberly and Noah. They are living witness that it is still possible. Welcome to the Good News series. I'm Wilma Parker. Stay tuned to hear more about this couple's love story.
Why would I leave this amazing situation that I found to try to rummage around in something else?
I'm Kimberly Mendoza.
I'm Noah Sievert.
And we're here to share the good news.
Who said I love you first? Who apologizes first after a fight? Who is more affectionate? Who is the neatest or most organized? Who is more outgoing? Now, who is the most sensitive?
We had a lot of mutual friends.
We had a ton of mutual friends in high school, all the way from freshman year to senior year. And we never met till our senior year of high school.
South Run High School.
Okay.
Here in China Grove.
Okay.
And then we both ended up going on a trip to New York for the school for like a history class or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
we rode on the same bus together, and we both had talked to each other, and then we both realized we were going on that trip together. And you sat at the front of the bus, I sat in the back with my friends, you sat in the front with yours. And then we pretty much hung out the entire time in New York City together.
Yeah.
And we pretty much fell for each other there.
After that, it was kind of just like everybody knew that we were together.
Yeah.
Wow. So how many years has it been now since y'all been together?
4.5 years?
Yeah, 4 and some change.
Yeah. I'm 21.
We're both 21.
Both 21, and you all both graduated at the same time from the same high school.
We went to college together. I knew that I wanted to go to college. That was always my plan. And then we were both seniors together, and we kind of just asked each other so what's your plan for the future?
So my original plan before I met her, I was going to go into a trade or something else, but I don't know. I mean, she kind of inspired me to explore out of my comfort zone because I was just going to do that because I was comfortable. I knew it would be easy, but she'd pushed me to
Apply for
a school and try to strive for more than just what's easiest.
When you all initially started dating, what was the responses of your friend groups and your family?
I think everybody was kind of shocked.
Everyone was really shocked, yeah.
Yeah, because I guess just where we come from in Rowan County, it's the interracial thing, I guess. But when people would see us, they'd be like, oh.
Well, we were also polar opposites as well.
Yeah, that is true.
Because, with my friend group, it was very, we're over here, and then her friend group.
He was a jock, and I was weird. I was the chorus girl, I would read for fun, I was the nerd. And then he was a state swimmer, so he had his group and I had my group, and we all knew each other. I knew his friends and he knew my friends, so I think everybody was just shocked.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned the interracial thing. Tell me your backgrounds.
I am Hispanic, I'm Mexican and Salvadorian, and he's white.
I'm white. I did do an ancestry test recently, though.
Okay.
So he's white.
White. Okay, you Irish.
I think his friends were shocked that he was dating, me especially, because I'm very proud of my heritage. So I was always the really loud spoken, immigrant, you know? and he's white.
Well, I think they were mainly surprised because, I don't know, you were very proud of your heritage, and you still are, which I think everyone was surprised because we weren't really looking for anyone at the time either. You and me both, we were that's it. It's almost the end of our junior year. We haven't found anyone in high school. We're just not going to.
Yeah.
Because we've met everyone.
Oh, wow.
Once we got past that point, just the interracial thing, I don't know. My parents were fine and his parents were fine, but sometimes our more distant family, they had different reactions.
Very.
Noah at first felt kind of uncomfortable around my family because like my family was like, this was the first time we'd ever had like a white boy in our family.
Yeah.
And same for me and his.
Yeah.
Like people would kind of look at us and be like, that's interesting. And then like, you know, we'd get like the looks if we'd go to like Food Lion or somewhere, just like random, everybody would be like,
Right.
But it was kind of, we enjoyed it though. It was funny.
Okay.
it was funny for him.
For
This is
her,
great.
it was, yeah. For
'Cause
me,
it-
I was just like, you have nothing else better to do, you know?
Yeah, but for me it was strange because I wasn't really used to being like looked at like that. But then we never really got a lot of pushback
Mm-mm.
for like the interracial thing. It's mostly just like stares. People
Stairs.
find it, yeah. Even now,
Even though, yeah.
if we're like holding hands somewhere, then people will just like look at it. Like people will look at us through their car windows. Like they'll like turn their heads and like watch to make sure.
That is so odd to me because to me, looking at you all, yes, I know there's obvious differences, but it wouldn't be anything that would make my head turn.
Yeah, but
You
people
know?
are- it's
No,
crazy.
yeah,
Maybe
They
because it's
would.
the area that we live in.
it is.
Like where we go to school, nobody really pays attention to us.
Yeah,
It's
no one
mostly
bats an eye.
here.
Right.
But if we come here, and if we were to walk in the Food Line together, I mean, you know how the older
Mhm.
generations can be.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and then that was fine, but mostly it was the culture thing too.
Yeah. The biggest shell shock for me was whenever we first went over to your house and trying all the new food.
Yeah.
That was what was, because I was like, oh yeah, I've had Mexican food before.
Right.
You know, yeah, down the street. You know, no.
So,
No.
But I mean, for me, it's natural because I mean, I grew up in the United States, so it wasn't anything new going into his family. But then, like, he came into mine, and we dance, and we all speak Spanish. We all eat certain foods. So for him, that was strange as well.
tell me the university that you all are currently attending.
We go to Wingate University. The only really weird thing is just like the couples around. There's not really like a lot of like couples in our university.
Mhm.
Which it's a university, you would expect.
You supposed to be sowing your wild oats. You supposed to be dating a new girl every week.
Nah.
Yeah.
So you went to college with the girl. Tell me about that experience.
Well, for me, it was, I don't. A lot of guys, it depends on the mindset that they have to begin with going into something, and I think that's something I've always appreciated about myself, I guess, because I've never had that want to like, oh, I gotta, oh, you know, I need to do all this before I settle down. You know, for me, it was more of like, why should I not try to find this person as whenever they approach me? Like, why would I leave this amazing situation that I've found to try to like rummage around in something else?
Is that something that from your upbringing, like your parents met at a young age and they stay together
They
type
were
of thing?
also high school sweethearts.
And they went to the same school that we went to.
Oh,
Mhm. But
okay.
I think it was also just, I think a lot of it has to deal with mindset.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's what a lot of it is. Because, I mean, anyone, I think that's the special part for me as well, especially being together this long, is I see that anyone can go jump around in multiple relationships. Anyone can do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact of perseverance and staying and pushing through that with that person that you have found.
Right. Right. What about you, Kimberly? You're beautiful as well. Was there a lot of temptation to say, maybe I should try something new?
Honestly, for me, it was always really easy. I was always that girl that, like, even in high school, like, guys would try to approach me, and I just, like, I never wanted that. Like, all of his friend group, probably, they all tried to flirt with me, they all tried to get with me, and I was just never that kind of girl. Like, it really bothered me when people would approach me in that way. And Noah was always really respectful towards me, so it was always, like, the easy choice once I found him. And I see, like, all of my, like, girlfriends, like, all the relationships and all the stuff that they go through, I'm like, thank God I do not have to go through any of that.
Yeah.
Like, I found the guy that I wanted to be with, and I would never want to change from that either, because, like, my mom and my dad, they're also, like, I see the relationship, and, like, everybody who knows them, like, they're in love, and, like, I was like, I want that, and I found it, so it was always easy for me to stay too. Well, I grew up in church. I went to Cornerstone since I was 2. Like, I've always been in the church. And it was also that, like, most of the big teachings that they give you, is, even when you're growing up, it was about, like, love, whether that be in a relationship, whether that be a friendship or your relationship with God. It was just love. And when I found that with Noah, and I found all my other friends and see what they go through, I feel like, I don't know if I can say this, but, like, I feel like a lot of it is, like, lust or whatever. And it's just like attention. But I didn't, like, when I found Noah, it wasn't that. It was like, it was love. It was like what I heard about my entire life in church and what you're supposed to feel. So I think that also helped me, because I knew what that's supposed to feel like, because I had felt that in my relationship with God. So when I found Noah, it was like, this is what it's supposed to be.
Going into college, something special happened not too long ago. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
We got engaged.
So no, I want to ask you this, because a lot of guys have this question. How do you know when the girl is the right one? How do you know?
I think it's whenever she stays with you through the hardest and she's there for you. I mean, if it's the hardest thing that you've gone through in your life and she sticks through you with it, and just like the love that you have in between each other never goes out, I mean, you can't really ask, why wouldn't you? I mean, that is the time you found that person.
Did anybody question your decision to get married, get engaged?
I don't think so.
Everybody knew, like, everybody who meets us, all of our friends, they're like, Noah and Kimberly are so in love. Everybody was so happy. Like, my parents were ecstatic.
Yeah.
His parents were excited. It was, I think everybody knew it was coming. Everybody calls us, like, the parents or, like, the old couple. 'Cause we're always just so chill. Like, we're always just together.
Everyone comes to you for advice whenever it comes to relationships.
Yeah. And, like, even, like, when people don't see us together on campus, they're like, where's Noah? Where's Kimberly?
Yeah.
Like, everybody knows. We both graduate on May 16th. We're both going to get our undergrad degrees, and then a couple of days later, we're getting married.
Yeah.
We're going on our honeymoon, and then I, hopefully, will be going to grad school. And so Noah's going to have a job lined up for when he graduates. Thankfully, and then wherever I end up going to grad school, we're going to find an apartment.
So what advice would you give to somebody to renew their hope in love?
Personally, I think you just need to let it come to you. Like, one thing about me and Noah's relationship is, like, we weren't looking. I think it was just, like, God's plan. Like, that's the person you ran into at the time. Like, you felt a connection, and you just have to let it run its course. Because I feel like, especially a lot now, with social media, with the way that relationships are with friends, like, everybody's pushing you to find somebody, like, whether that be, like, things like Tinder or whatever. Like, everybody's looking and looking and looking and looking, and if you just keep looking, you're not going to find that one person, that one thing that you need. And honestly, for us, it was just really natural, and we let it happen that way, and we didn't let anybody else put their input in or, like, try to get in the way of us. We just, like, let our love grow on our own.
It's very hard to build a relationship whenever, say, like, two friends put that relationship together, because you're building it off of your friends, input, like, this person does this, that.
Right.
And then whenever you finally meet that person, they're all those things, but you never found any of that out for yourself.
Yeah.
I say the biggest part of building a healthy relationship is just being able to give yourself to that person, and not be so protective. Because, I mean, whenever we first met, I was very, like, you're not going to see me or any of my emotions.
And I was like,
nothing.
I was like, we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about our feelings. That's another thing. You need to communicate.
A lot of it is communication.
Yeah. Like, if we feel something, if I feel upset, if he feels upset, we know that we can talk to each other about it and not get angry. We just need to like express our feelings and figure out how to solve whatever problem there is.
That's some advice we gave the other day. Is you should not be fearful of what your partner's reaction should be if you're feeling a certain type of way.
Yeah.
Because that is the main key. If you can't communicate, there's not going to be a relationship.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's very difficult. Because I also grew up as a single child. I was known as the kid growing up who was like, wow, he's very mature for his age. He doesn't get excited. He's, all of those things. And it's very hard to open up. But whenever you find that person, I mean, obviously if you're going on a first date with someone, you shouldn't bust down crying at the table. But like, I mean, if you feel like that is your person and you've had vulnerable moments with that person, you shouldn't just lock everything away and go through it by yourself, because I mean, that's what a partner in life is for, is to go through things together. I mean, she's given me plenty of input to help me get through with something, and it has. And the best part about it, whenever you do show those emotions, is that you get to bond over it together. I mean, it's like building a bridge between each other, because you solved that problem that you usually would have just bottled up and never had dealt with to begin with, but now it's solved and you've got to help each other through it.
True love is real. I mean, we love each other.
We do.
I mean,
Most people would be like, oh, that's just puppy love. What would you say?
It's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
4 years of puppy love is
a lot of puppy love. No, I mean, once you feel it, you feel it. And I mean,
you will have moments to test if it is puppy love or not.
yeah.
And that's when you know you got that person.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Kimberly and Noah are a true example for all of us. The great thing about their story is that they were exposed to what real love looks like by their parents. So because they understood what real love was, they weren't willing to fall for the counterfeit. Regardless of what society says, true love and marriage will never go out of style.